I am Parul Devakar, Assistant Professor. Today we are going to deal with an interesting episode of B Farm on an important title, Personal Management. Selection, appointment, training transfer, promotion and demotion, remuneration, job evaluation. Our topic expert is Dr. Yashwant Gupta, Group Leader, Glenmark Pharmaceuticals, Nasik. So let's start our today's episode while taking a look at what we are going to learn today. So let's start our today's lecture. This topic consists of 5 modules. Module 1, Introduction. Module 2, Selection. Module 3, Training. Module 4, Job Evaluation. Module 5, Remuneration and Compensation. Module 1, Introduction. Personal Management. Personal management is the management of personal working for an organization. Every organization appoints people to carry out its objectives. Definition. Personal management can be defined as planning, organizing, directing and controlling, procurement, development, maintenance, integration and separation of human resources so that individual, organization and social goals can be achieved. Components of personal management. Appointments and recruitments. It is the process of identifying different aspects of manpower requirements. It involves generation of applications for specific positions. It is the process of searching prospective worker and stimulating them to apply for job in organization. Hence, it is a positive process of prospecting. The process of recruitment involves source of recruitment. There are two major sources. A. Internal source of recruitment. B. External source of recruitment. Internal source of recruitment. Internal sources refers to the present working forces of a company. When vacancy arises, people within the organizations are chosen. Outside recruitment is resorted to only when requirements cannot be met from within. Merits of internal recruitment. Morale and motivation of employee is increased. No problem with workers, organizations. Industrial peace prevails. It is economical to fill the post from within the organization. It absorbs people already acquainted with the company culture. Job training is reduced. Cost of selection can be minimized. Demerits of internal recruitment. Time-bound promotions make employees lazy. No scope for new people with better talent. Efficiency of organization is hampered because of frequent changes in position. There are 3 important sources of internal recruitment which are as follows. Transfers, promotions, demotions. Transfer. It involves the shifting of an employee from one spot to another. Proper assessment beforehand should be done regarding the suitability of the person in the new job. There is no change in the responsibility and official position of the employee. Transfer is defined as the lateral shift causing movement of individuals from one position to another, usually without involving any marked change in the duty, responsibilities, skills needed. Promotions. It is the shifting of an employee to a higher placement which has more responsibility, salary and status. According to Paul Pijors and Charles A. Mayers, promotion is advancement of an employee to a better job, better in terms of greater responsibility, more prestige or status, greater skill, specially increased rate of pay or salary. Demotion. Demotion is opposite of promotion. It is a downward movement of employees in the organization hierarchy with lower status and lower salary. It is the downwarding process and is an insulting to employee. Demotion is the punishment for incompetence or mistake of serious nature on the part of the employee. It is serious types of penalty or punishment and should be given rarely and only under exceptional circumstances and tactfully. Demotions may be necessary when the following conditions. When the organization reduces activities, officers occupying certain posts are demoted. Errors in the promotion already made are corrected through demotions. It may be necessary to use demotions as a tool of disciplinary action against erring employees. The tools of demotions should be used only when it is absolutely necessary. However, there should not be any injustice to any employee in this regard. Demotion should be made for genuine reasons. Promotions are easily as they affect the status, career, and position. Demotion usually treated as an insult and naturally resulted by the employees in one way or the other. It is therefore desirable to avoid demotions as far as possible. Demotion should be an exception but not the normal rule of an organization. External source of recruitment. It is essential that excessive inbreeding should be avoided and infuses new blood into the organization to broaden the present ideas, knowledge, and enthusiasm. Hence, recruitment can also be done from external atmosphere to the organization. The important source of external recruitments are direct employment at factory gate, advertisement, employment agencies, educational institutions and campus interviews, recommendations, websites and internet, labor contractors, management consultants, deputations, field trips, temporary help services. Now moving to next module, that is module 2, selection. Based upon the ability and qualifications to perform the job which is vacant in the organization, employment of person to the job is selection. Selection is a negative process because it divides the candidate into two categories, those offered employment and those who are not appointed. Selection is a process which helps in choosing right type of candidate to right position in the organization. A well-organized selection procedures involves many steps and in each step more information is obtained about the candidates. Importance of selection. Selection of employees for an organization is an important task of personnel department. Right selection procedures has to be adopted while selecting the candidates for various posts. If the selection process is faulty, absentees will be too high and efficiency of organization will go down. If the right candidate is not selected, it will lead to wastage of time, energy and money in hiring such employees. The training expenses spent on such employees will also go waste. Steps involved in the selection procedure: application, preliminary interview, selection test, physical examination, reference check, employment. First, application. The application received up to the due date is carefully scrutinized. The incomplete application of candidates who do not fulfill the requirements eligibility conditions are rejected. Second, preliminary interview. The candidate considered suitable on the basis of their applications are cancelled for preliminary interview. This is generally a brief interview and its purpose is to be eliminating those candidates who are either unqualified or unsuitable for job. Third, selection test. It may be written or oral test. The technical knowledge and the administrative capacity can be judged from these tests. The psychological tests are very popular these days to judge the human behavior in actual work situation. The following tests are commonly used in the selection procedure. Fourth, physical examination. The physical examination of the candidate is conducted to ensure that he is physically fit for the job. If he is suffering from any disease, disability, he is rejected. Fifth, reference check. Usually, the candidates are required to write in their application form names and address of two important people who knows the candidate. These persons are contracted to collect the information about the character, ability and background of the candidate. But the information supplied by them may be based in favor of the candidate. Sixth, employment. The candidate who have been found suitable in all respect are appointed by issuing appointment letter to them. They are generally appointed on probation for 1 or 2 years. After successful completion of the probationary period, they are made permanent employees. The selected candidates are assigned specific job. This is known as placement. Now moving to next module, module 3, training. The selected candidate should be given training in order to acquire knowledge of the product, knowledge of company, knowledge of customer, knowledge of techniques of selling, and knowledge about the market condition. Purpose of training. First, knowledge of the product. A salesman must have deleted knowledge regarding nature of product, method of product, ingredient use, method of packing, use of product. This knowledge could be gained only through properly organized training by the company. Second, knowledge of a company. A salesman must have a detailed knowledge regarding history of the company, achievements, sales policies, distribution policies, customer services provided by the company. Third, knowledge of the customer. A salesman must have a perfect prior knowledge of the customer to whom the products are to be sold in order to overcome sales resistance. Fourth, knowledge of the techniques of selling. Like the customers are different, the products are also different. For example, the selling techniques adopted by a customer product will not be applicable to the industrial product. This knowledge should be acquired only through training. Fifth, knowledge about the market conditions. Knowledge about the market conditions is also necessary for the salesman. Salesmen should know about the competitions. Methods of training: apprenticeship method, part-time instruction method, evening school work method, correspondence method, sale conferences method, lecture method, sales demonstration method, round table method, display of films, charts and picture method. The above method of training given to the salesman may be grouped into individual training, group training, on-the-job method, follow-up training method. Advantages of training: you can refer to the chart on the screen. Now, before moving to our next module about job evaluation, I would like to suggest you to visit our website www.cec.nic.in for further reading and learning of more topics associated with your B.Pharm syllabus. Here you will find many lectures, e-contents, FAQs, LORs and many more. Hope this site will be a catalyst of learning for you. Now moving to next module, that is module 4, job evaluation. After an initial training of trainee is completed, an appraisal of performance evaluation must be done. For fair and unbiased evaluation, standard of performance must be established. Based on these, periodic appraisals of employees is undertaken and their work is evaluated fairly. This is very important because it helps in identifying abnormality, low level of performance displayed by the employee, assistance in fair compensation of the pharmacist according to the degree of accomplishment of set standard. The weak point of pharmacist can be detected and the improvement can be done in the same. Employees with good performance are motivated by promotion as an incentive. It helps in increasing the productivity of pharmacists for the risk of being fired if found insufficient. Basic feature of good evaluation system. First, should be based on complete employee record for the comparison with the expected standard. It helps in avoiding confused judgment. Second, should be coupled with surprise inspection at regular intervals. It should be neither too infrequent. Third, should have predetermined standards of performance for employees. A good evaluation system should encourage employees towards above average performance. Fourth, should be circulated among the employees concerned so that they strive towards better performance to achieve high achievement rating. Fifth, should be based on simple and consolidated records. Evaluation system. Two preliminary means of evaluating employees are: first, achievement measurement, second, rating scales. Achievement measurement. These are more objective, easy to formulate and make use of. Basically, in a drugstore, the pharmacists are evaluated by measuring annual or a combination of the following achievement: total scale of each salesman, a better performing salesman is expected to attract the total sales at least at par or above the set target. Number of partons attended and served by salesmen. Number of partons served by salesmen during a target time period is directly proportional to the total sales and hence profit of the drug stores. Hence, those with a record number of partons served should receive high rating and hence recognition. A salesperson who lowers down this unit cost of selling get the higher achievement rating. Such salespersons are a boon to a drugstores since they maximize sales but minimize running expenses. This serves as a guide to the employee also. Thus, with a high unit cost of selling gets a lower rates and should enhance save more and more number of people. Sales volume of store. Salesperson who achieve an exceptional target should be given high achievement rating so that the less efficient also get motivated to achieve the same standards. Rating scales. Through rating scales is a matter of opinion only, yet in some cases simply their introduction act as a motivator to employee. Moreover, these are helpful in achieving the employees towards the improvement upon the weaker area of their performance. The drugstore owner can approximately arrange the employee in the order of their performance. Now friends, moving to last module, that is module 5, remunerations and compensation. The remuneration to the pharmacists who are involved in the sale is the vital part of the companies where they work in. Where they are low paid, they are efficiently to be affected and they do not work with interest and enthusiasm. When they are highly paid, it costs the exchequer. Thus, it is essential that proper remunerations and compensations should be paid to them. Adequate compensation helps in retaining good employee and encourages them to work efficiently. The compensation includes salary and other benefits such as house rent allowance, free residential accommodation, city compensatory allowance, medical allowance, group insurance scheme, provident fund scheme, leave travel concessions, bonus, travelling allowance and other benefits. Essential of good scheme of remunerations and compensation. A good remuneration should be offered to the pharmacists who are involved in sales so that they will work efficiently with interest and enthusiasm. To increase the sale, the company should offer good incentive and other compensatory allowance. The following points may be considered as a good remuneration plan. The remuneration and compensation may be affixed on the basis of qualification and qualities of work. The remunerations and other compensatory allowance may be according to their sales efforts. The rates of remuneration may be in proportion to volume of sales. The remuneration should sufficiently enough to maintain a living standard. The remunerations plan must be in such a way that pharmacists improve their qualities. Methods of remunerations. Fixed salary or straight salary method, straight commission method, salary commission and allowance method, profit sharing method, salary and bonus method, promotions, fixed salary or straight salary method. In this method, the pharmacists are paid salary per month. The salary is fixed at the time of appointment. The annual increment is granted on successful work and sometimes 2 or more increments are granted for good work. Straight commission method. Under this method, remuneration paid to the pharmacist depend upon the sales made by them. The remuneration under this method entirely depend upon the skill and effort of pharmacist or salesman. This method provides good incentives for the pharmacist who involved in sales. Salary, commission and allowance method. Under this method, the pharmacists are paid by allowance along with salary and commission. The main purpose giving allowance and commission is to compensate the expenses incurred by the salesman on sales effort and activities. Profit sharing method. Under this method, pharmacists are allowed to share in the profit of the firm or company. This method realizes the importance of pharmacist effort for progress of the firm. Generally, Profits are shared by pharmacists on the basis of sales in their areas. Salary and bonus method. Under this method, pharmacists are paid salary as well as bonus. The purpose of giving bonus is to increase the efficiency of pharmacists on sales effort and activities. Promotions. A provision should be made in the compensation plan to provide promotion for continuous, long and devoted service of employees. Now, here we come to the summary of this topic. This chapter dealt with the various aspects of personnel management such as selection, appointment, training, transfer, promotion and demotion, remuneration and job evaluation. Study elaborate importance of personnel management in the management of organizational human resources. Topic also covers various procedures involved in the process of selection, training and job evaluation. Lecture aimed to deliver merits and demerits of various approaches of personnel management. Thank you friends. Here we come to the end of this topic. Hope to see you soon in the next lecture. Thank you.